Hello and welcome to the Through the Decades February 2026 Premodern Monthly, coming to you from Through the Decades in Louisville, Kentucky. Today we have our top four matchup between Justin on the left with green-white Oath Ponza and myself, Benjamin Tash, on the right with blue-white Landstill. And we'll get to those deck lists right after a word from our sponsor. Through the Decades, in conjunction with the Ohio River Boas, are proud to bring you Grand Prix Louisville on June 6, 2026. If you ever find yourself missing not only the pre-modern era of Magic the Gathering, but the old tournament structure, this will be the event for you. The entry fee for the main event is $60 and will include a specially designed Grand Prix Louisville playmat and a stamped card. Prize support for the main event will be $5,000, paying out to the top 16, along with a Magic the Gathering themed championship belt for the winner. Side events will include some retro booster drafts, including Mirage Block, Tempest Block, and Urza's Block, along with a Pauper Win-a-Duel giving out a Tundra to first place and a Bayou for second place. The main event will max out at 300 players, so seating is limited as we throw one of the largest celebrations of the pre-modern format to date. So, don't miss your chance to be part of pre-modern Magic history and sign up by scanning the QR code on the screen. All right, we've got Justin's list here with Oath Ponza. Now, Austin, I'll be honest, I would consider you the premier Terravore player in the region, so why don't you talk about your favorite creature and what flavor of deck this is?
Yeah, so this is one of the best ways to play Terravore in Oath Ponza, really just off the back of the power of Oath the Druids. Now that we're at top four, we know what each other are playing. Oath the Druids is definitely not the card you want to bring to the standstill matchup, but we still have a lot of really good tools here. Justin is playing seven sorcery, land destruction spells, fourth armor cards, three winner's grabs. Though they're going to do well at messing up your mana. Four sphere resistance are just all stars in this type of matchup where you're trying to play cheap interactive spells and sphere resistance is just going to tax you. So that's really the way that you're going to try to win this game on the Oath Ponza side. Just tax your opponent's mana and then win with a really big Terravore or just start beating in with the mana lands with Treetop Village and Mistress Factory.
Yeah, and I will be honest, as we get over to my list, I do not love this matchup. He plays the lands game better and he can blow up my permanents a lot worse, so this is not exactly where I want to be. But taking a look back over at our third land still round in a row and second one featuring me, it's the good old tried and true control deck, counter spells, factor fictions, mana leaks, blue spells to try and control things. Then you've got your standstill to try and make your opponent crack that because you can play better under it. Not so much against the Oath Ponza list, unfortunately. Now I do actually have one Exalted Angel, so if I wanted to trigger the Oath, I could, but it's not something I really want to be doing, especially if I'm going to make their Terravores bigger. So this is not looking great for me. But we can definitely see how this goes, and hopefully I can squeak out and make it to the finals here as we get to this match right now. All right, looks like we've got a pair of capable hands here. I had to mull down to six, but Justin will be keeping seven and being on the play as he was on the higher seed. And just immediately powering out that Oath of Druids.
It definitely stops you from playing a Decree of Justice, so it's just another lock piece, really.
Really is. It doesn't trigger often against me, but it stops an avenue of attack that I have, considering I can't win the landscape. And oof, a fast Thermokarst afterwards. This is unfortunate.
Yeah. Especially when the land that he played it off of is a wasteland, so you know that the next non-basic is just going to get fed to that wasteland.
Yeah, this is already not the best start for me, and not the best match either. And okay, looks like he's got a Rishadan Port in hand, which again, just talking about not a great matchup because he just has so many ways to mess with me. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Even here, your basics are not safe to the Rashad import.
Okay, looks like I'm casting an Impulse here. As I'm making a snarky comment about not shuffling my library afterwards, thanks to the misprint on the original printing of Impulse from Mirage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And okay, yes, I'm going to talk over myself as I continue to rant about Commander players saying reading the card explains the card, because it truly is one of the more rude things I've heard people say, and it makes me have disdain for Magic players that have that kind of attitude. This is a fun game. Let's have some fun, guys, instead of being
Yeah.
awful. Please and thank you. And getting my planes ported.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice by uh, Justin. I was thinking that he would go for the blue to stop cards like Impulse and counter spells and such like that. So it's interesting to see what he may be doing with you not having white mana.
Yeah, now I did have my Seal of Cleansing, it looks like here, so I can at least answer this Oath of Druids if I want to, or answer that Mishra's Factory it looks like he just played here. And as I said, they're blocking with my face and taking 3. Down to
Mm-hmm.
15.
Yeah.
Justin firmly in the driver's seat at this point.
Yeah, he can tap you down off your blue so you don't have blue mana. If he has another land in hand, which knowing Oath Ponza, he probably does, he can start attacking for 5, make you use that seal cleansing if you so wish to, but if not, he's got you on a 3 turn clock, which is very much faster than you would think it is.
Yes. Now I do, it looks like, have a Disenchant, a Humility, an Island, and a Decree of Justice, I think, in my hand, and maybe something else. I always want to bemoan the fact that I cannot sit still and have the cards constantly moving in my hand to make it a little difficult to see what exactly I'm holding on to. But while Justin makes some decisions, I do also have to say, just on the inane commentary here, I do love the Garfield shirt that Justin is wearing as well.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah. It definitely fits with the pre-modern aesthetic, to say the least.
Very much. Oh,
Oh,
okay. So the Terravore, yeah, makes a lot of sense on not attacking with the Treetop Village as well. Yeah. Wisely not triggering the other druids on your side.
yes.
Yes,
Like I
you
said,
would get an Elder Angel in this spot, but I'm pretty sure the Terraform would grow to be much larger.
I would get dead, is what I would get. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, there we go. That is a Fairy Conclave. Not an exile. There's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that clock is. Oh, it
It's
is.
very
It is.
substantial.
Yeah. So I'm about to take 9 here. And these creatures having trample effectively negate my Decree of Justice being able to do any kind of blocking.
Yep. And you're just going to take it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's an end of turn Factor Fiction. That's how we start getting out of this problem. I bet I take the one that has Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, it's going to say you definitely don't give you Wrath of God and Swords to Plowshares, and I definitely would give you probably Swords, and I would almost be tempted just to give you only Swords, just to make it where you have to waste most of your turn and all your white mana on casting Wrath of God, and then you can attack with Treetop afterwards.
What do you think about Swords and Adarkar Wastes as
I
the
think
one
that's
pile? Because
probably
then you can port down the plains, and then I have to have a white source to be able to Wrath. So then I have to take the swords.
yeah. I think that's the best play here.
Yeah.
If I was in Justin's spot, I think that would be my piles. Okay. It looks
I
like you
took,
also get a Mistress Factory go with it, which is not nothing here.
yeah. We're going to tap down a white source, and I'm going to snap off that swords.
Yeah.
Now, the factory is inconsequential here, though, because we have a wasteland and a Rishadan port to answer it.
Yes, definitely. I definitely do not like your spot here still.
No,
As
me
as good
neither.
as that Factor Fiction ended up being, it you're still very much behind here.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing here is, yes, I can cycle a Decree of Justice next turn to be able to get some creatures in play to start blocking this treetop village, but then it gets to trigger the Oath.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
And we're
just...
right back. Yeah, we're right back where we started.
Now, now that I look at the table and remember the Seal of Cleansing that's been sitting here for several turns, I could blow that up, but
I yes, but you're just not really very far. Justin will have a lot of turns to find an answer to 2-1-1s or 1-1-1. It's just not going to get. It's not a winning move.
yeah. He could take me off a white here, probably. He's tapping an island, okay.
I have enough of both white and blue. I think I agree with that.
A fresh island there. So I'm seeing Waste Factory, Counterspell, and the Decree in my hand.
Yeah, it looks like your plan is just to cycle Decree and throw all 3-1-1s in front of the treetop village.
Just as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Now, this plan crumbles to a Swords to Plowshares, which he may or may not... And that Hardcast Terry isn't going to do much good for me either. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also looks like he does have the Swords to Plowshares in hand as well.
Cycle 3 dudes, and clearly I'll be able to block and not die here. Attempt to triple block. That's a very easy Swords to Plowshares here.
Yeah.
Although he could consider letting that happen so then I can... No, that's... I think saving the...
Yeah.
And with 1 mana, he completely counteracts my plan.
And
That's
now
a
he also
very
gets
efficient
to
card.
play the Terravore in hand as well. So yeah, you're now having to answer two creatures every turn here. So you're gonna be running out of answers very quickly.
So I hate to say it here, but hindsight being 2020, it may have been better to trigger this oath.
Yeah.
Because if I have to... Like, I'm dead to 2 permanents right now.
Mm-hmm.
It might have just been better to trigger here so I could answer the Treetop Village and then just pray for a Swords. Now, it looks like I do have a Swords in hand. Okay, so we're casting the Humility.
Okay.
And in theory, I do have the Swords to Plowshares to answer the Treetop Village.
Mm. You would go to 2, so, but you're not. Or you're going to 1 because you have to pay for the Dark Waste. Okay. 1 is not 0 though.
Okay, counter the Sylvan Library. Okay. I might be able to get myself back in here. Although now I've. Okay.
You may have been able to actually trigger the oath there with both of
Yeah,
them being weapons.
that is true. However, I could have then
Y- y-
also milled myself to death, so.
Yes, it's like there's very little chance that it ends up working out, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, as I pull out my sideboard guide here and we go to our sideboards here, let's take a pause here and take a look at these deck lists and see what we think we're going to be bringing in for game number 2 and maybe game number 3. All right. Now, looking back at Justin's oath list, Austin, how do you think we sideboard here?
This feels like a pretty easy side in, side out. The four Oath of Druids doing very little to nothing in this game. I would bring in the three Call of the Herd. It's just more beef that you can play. It's also a 2-for-1, so against Landstill, 2-for-1s are a big way to take the advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
And Cataclysm is just an absolute blowout if it
Ugh.
is resolved. So it's pretty
Yeah.
easy, 4 in, 4 out.
Yeah, I don't love that Cataclysm for me. And I don't even love Call of the Herd. Though, yeah, the 2-for-1s and Cataclysm. If one resolves, I'm dead in the water. Let's be honest. There's going to be a threat on the table when that Cataclysm resolves, and I'm going to die real fast. So hopefully that doesn't happen here. But yeah, I don't love this post board. However, I do have some tools as we get over here to my list. Now, looking at my sideboard guide over here, it looks like my cuts were I cut looks like 2 Decree of Justice, 3 Standstill, and 3 Wrath of God. Decree putting lots of creatures on the table. Not the best there. Obviously, he's going to be cutting the oaths, but still not my favorite. It's something you need a lot of mana for, and that deck's real good at disrupting it. Standstill, as we said earlier in the deck tech portion, the Oath Ponza deck is better at playing the lands game than I am, so that's doing nothing. And Wrath of God only kills Terravores when I've got Swords to Plowshares already. So those are some pretty easy cuts. And then my bring-ins were Annuls, counterspell the Sylvan Libraries or the Sphere Resistance for only 1 mana. An extra Exalted Angel, because you can fly right over that Terravore. Sacred Ground is very good, as well as the Teferi's response as ways to sort of counteract the land destruction plan. And then 3 Meddling Mages, just because you can stop things like hardcast Terravores or the Call of the Herd out of the sideboard, or maybe an Armageddon. Actually, no, we did have deck lists, so naming that Cataclysm would also be pretty good too, because yeah, again, that card is absolutely lights out for me. Uh, any thoughts or dissenting opinion there?
No, I think you're right. It just overall, it's not a great matchup for you, and you do have some tools here, but still, in the end, not a great spot for you.
I mean, yeah, I do have 8 cards, but you're still slapping a band-aid on a gunshot wound at this point, I think. So
Yeah.
let's get back to this match though and see if I can pick up game 2 and we can get to a game 3. All right, it looks like we've got a pair of keepable hands here, or at least hands we were willing to keep. Me mulling to 6 and Justin keeping 7 again. So hopefully, well, we don't have a turn 1 2 drop this time. And it looks like I'm starting off on just a pair of fetch lands and leaving them there as Justin is noticing that he cannot blow them up when they can be cracked to become basic. So just
Yeah,
trying to
very
make sure
astute.
the my first spell that I cast, if it's a 2 or 3 drop, that I can actually do it. Like something to counteract this Sylvan Library that is going to threaten to take away. Yep. And me just looking at him going, no,
No, thank you.
no, no, yes, no, no thank you. At least we're polite when we say no thank you.
Oh yeah.
Look, I've seen enough Sylvan Libraries cast against me because I do not play aggressive decks where my opponents are going, yeah, I'm just going to pay 8 life, just immediately recoup the card advantage and go. I'm seeing what? Humility, Factor Fiction, Annul. Did I keep? Okay, so I did keep Humility in.
Yeah. Looks like you also have one more plane, so you do have your fourth mana.
I just have to hope that Justin isn't going to do the thing he always does and mess with my mana as the green white Oath Ponza list. I'm sure my lands are perfectly fine in this moment.
Definitely don't have a target on them whatsoever.
No, not at all. Justin having a think here. And just some friendly banter here about learning how to use the iPad on the fly there. And of course me doing the Ralphie impersonation from The Simpsons with my non-basic land saying I'm in danger. I'll save us the high pitched noise and oh my planes is in danger too. I'm loving these 4 drops in my hand that are probably not going to get cast and a Wrath of God being picked up. So just where I want to be.
Yeah. I would not be surprised to see this wasteland hit this a Dark Hour Waste and then him play, I believe he has a Rashad Import in hand, and then just lock down the blue
Yeah, just
and just
keep me
really start to put you in the squeeze.
firmly on that back foot. Yeah,
Okay.
this is not good for me.
Even yeah. It's like I was gonna say you
No.
have to answer
Yeah.
if
Just
if you have the ability.
just no. And the squeeze. Oh my goodness. That is double Thermocarse. That is.
Oof.
Oh, and a Mox Diamond. Probably discarding. I think there's on planes in his hand.
Yeah, there's a plan. So this is exactly where Oath Ponza wants to be in this matchup. You're not really doing anything, and I just have land destruction spell after land destruction spell coming.
And that resolving is just. Oh, that is
Yeah,
a
just tap
big
down.
ol'. That's a green light.
You are at least drawing lands off the top to at least buoy yourself here to land destruction, which eventually is going to run out. But for now, this is you're kind of keeping your head above water. But I just don't really see where you're gonna get out of this, to be honest.
Yeah, this is. I am so far behind, and as you can see, and oh yep, and Justin celebrating the fact that I did not have another land.
Yeah.
So I'm going down to 1 land. I feel like that wasteland is going to keep me locked down here.
hmm And then you can start getting in for 3 with this treetop
Yeah,
as well. So
and this is kind of a common theme with the, if I remember correctly, the January monthly when I made my exit against Cody, where I just had a bunch of 4 drops sitting in my hand with very few lands and nothing I can do with them. And as we have a Humility and a Wrath of God and a Factor Fiction, uh, Landstill needs its lands to be able to cast its spells, and if a deck's able to mess with those, you're boned, to be completely blunt about it.
yeah, the game starts to look a lot like this.
Yeah. And we're tapping an island, so that seems like something's going to happen here that I don't want to. And attack and wasteland. Another blue source when my interactive spells are white, so Justin correctly taking care of my white sources to prevent from interacting on
Yeah,
that angle.
yeah. At this point, I think it. it was right to go after the white, and
Yeah.
that's paying dividends for him now.
Yeah, and now just Justin playing the beat down here, probably going to take me to 5. He's being asked why is he tempted, so I'm guessing that he drew some sort of land destruction spell, but he's
Hmm.
correctly assessed here that the beatdown plan and the handshake as yeah, yeah, just an absolute beating there. Just showing how that works. And look at those 4 drops and the seal of cleansing doing bupkis for me at this point.
Yep. Just a clinic on Oath Ponza being able to do Oath Ponza things.
All right, and now that's going to be all for this round. And actually, for this event, as the 2 players that made it to the finals decided to split and not being commentary friendly, not play for the content. But with that said, we'll be back next month with more pre modern content from Through the Decades in Louisville, Kentucky.